Well, hello YouTube, how you doing? Sorry, I'm just going to pause the show. I was just watching this Family Guy there. How are you doing, ladies and gentlemen? I haven't done anything in front of the camera, or in front of my Sony camera, Samsung camera for a while, so I figured, you know, do a little shot here and there. Thought I'd catch up with everybody. Well, I'm putting out some videos at the moment, doing a combination of different things. This is, what's this? This is, well, I mean, some of my stuff is personal blog stuff, but it's also related to my business stuff a little bit too. It's sort of a combination of, depending on the situation. I've been spending a lot of time with my girlfriend. I've been growing a moustache, which is not looking too bad, not feeling, well, it doesn't always feel great sometimes, depends on the situation. Most of the time I'm pretty happy with it, and it doesn't bother me too much. A little scratchy here and there, but it's bearable. What else have I been doing? Well, basically I've just been trying to get things a little more off the ground, and I can't expect things to be great all the time. I mean, it's been pretty slow over Christmas. Not a lot of business, not a lot of people wanting computer repairs, or specifically stuff of that nature. I've cleaned everything up. I've got my bench set up and everything else. I just need to build a gaming computer, which I'm going to sell, but I haven't got around to selling it yet because I need a power supply for it, which I have to obtain at some point. Which, to be honest, what I'm planning to probably most likely do is grab a power supply for the kitchen computer, maybe a higher wattage one, 650 watt, and then take the 500 watt out of the kitchen computer that's currently being used, because that 500 watt is a pretty good power supply. It's a reconditioned power supply, but it's still a pretty good one. So what I was thinking I'll do, I'll see if I can get a probably a 650 watt Corsair power supply, most likely, something reasonable anyway, something in that spectrum, most likely. Yeah, definitely. I'll definitely be going that way. I've done some stuff on the storyline of Call of Duty Advanced Warfare, which is fantastic, by the way. Which, you know, I don't know. Things have been a bit progressively slow because I haven't been doing a great deal over the holiday period with my business stuff, and I haven't had as much to go out. I haven't been putting my Well, I put my advertisements out a bit, but I've sort of slowed down a bit at the moment because I'm trying to stick to a certain budget parameter, and you know, things of that nature. So it's sort of it's a catch-22 thing. I have to wait until I'm back in the situation where I can, you know, put my advertising through and things like that. I can still do it on Facebook and things like that, but you know, not as easy. Basically, at this point in time, I'm just filling in my hours or filling in my time and just biting it away pretty much, and yeah, chilling. Trying to chill anyway most of the time. I've been pretty happy. Been pretty happy over the holiday period. I was a little sad. I was a little depressed a little while ago. It was some negative stuff. I mean, in the sense of just stuff generally in the world, there being a little bit of negative stuff. I do take the impact of stuff that's happened negatively in the world, especially in Australia, recent siege events and stuff like that, did concern me a little bit. Aside from the recent siege events, I've also been getting our letterbox got stolen, which was rather frustrating. I mean, not that it really bothers me overly, but it doesn't exactly. Yeah, well, okay, I'm going to admit it. It does actually piss me off to get somebody to steal a fucking letterbox with all the stupid things to steal. Ultimately, in my mind, that's just the dumbest thing you could possibly steal. And I don't understand why somebody would go ahead and steal a letterbox, but there's people's personal preference, I guess. You know, there's some scumbags out there, no denying that. And it wasn't just me, it was other people in the street too. Otherwise I'm feeling pretty good. Had a pretty good Christmas, had a nice meal, had a fantastic meal at the pub. It's like a banquet sort of thing. That was really nice. I did enjoy that most hell haphazardly, or I do really enjoy it. Well, I fucking enjoyed it a lot. So, cheers to all who are having Christmas drinks. I'll probably end up having a few more in New Year. So that's the 27th today. Yeah, I'm definitely going to have some more in New Year. But on and off I'll be here and there, which is always good. I tend to, not as much, I mean I still drink during the year, but sometimes I'll take periodic breaks with different things, you know? And that's what I've mostly been doing. So, positive and negative things in my life lately. Most of it's been positive. I haven't had any real negative shit happen to me. Things haven't really been on the span of nastily negative. I would like, though, I'm considering getting a massage chair. Because basically this chair at the moment is pretty much falling apart. I don't know whether you can actually see it, but down here on the arm here, the arm is actually coming off. A lot of the leather that's coming off and things like that. And, you know, just the chair's not... I mean, considering that I paid $100 for it and I've probably had it over 2 years. I'm pretty sure I've had it over 2 years. I'm pretty happy that I got 2 years out of it, to be honest. I tend to... I mean, something like this, I mean, because I use it a lot, you know, doing stuff and, you know... with my business and stuff, and I'm on the computer a lot. I tend to use my chair a lot, so yeah. Oh, damn it. Okay. There it is. Sorry, I was looking for my Allen key so I can adjust my chair. Because it loosens up so easily. I feel like it's not tight enough. It should be tighter. There we go. That's better. There we go. That's better. Much better. The other side is a bit loose. Yeah, there we go. But it tends to loosen up over time, so particularly after a week mucking around with it. I tend to be a bit hyperactive and, you know, a little bit overactive sometimes with some of the stuff I do, so sometimes I'll jump up and down in my chair excitedly because I'm excited about a particular shit. Yeah. Oh my god, seriously. There we go. Much better. Pretty good. Yeah, that's good. Alright, so that completes that. And that feels much tighter now. Both my arms and legs. The wheels are breaking off too, so like while the wheels are working out, basically, I think just over time the wheels are becoming a little bit weaker over time. So I'm going to see if I can do anyway. Okay. The point is, I want to replace this chair because it is getting old, it is getting crappy, it is falling apart. And I think if I'm going to replace it, I'll replace it with a sort of a gaming chair combined with a computer chair with like 8, because the one I was looking at was 8 massage points on it. There's like 8 massage points on the back, so I can keep my back healthy at the same time as being comfortable. And of course, doing my computer work. So, what else have I been doing lately? I mean, I don't know. It's sort of weird. I've had I've had a different combination of things I've been combining for and going for, basically. Trying to enjoy myself, trying to have some fun at the same time, but at the same time, I'm trying to find my way in amongst the things that I'm doing at the moment. I mean, to be honest, I'd have to say the best thing in my life right at this point in time, and a woman that I've been spending so much time with is my wonderful girlfriend from the US, Erin. She's the most wonderful person in the world, and she really does make me feel complete as a person. She doesn't... Okay, in comparison to my last girlfriend, I won't really go into much detail about my last girlfriend, but my last girlfriend had a lot of issues. She had, whether it be self-esteem issues or other issues that she may have had, psychological possibly, a little more than she should have. She had some really, really argumentative issues. She'd get into an argument when there was no point of getting into an argument in the first place. She caused problems where there was no issues to start with. And at the end of it, all I wanted to do was make her happy, but it seemed that I could never do enough for her. I could never, you know. I had to do everything. I felt like I had to do everything. My current girlfriend, she doesn't mind if I can't help her sometimes, or, you know, if there's things that she doesn't, you know, certain aspects of things. She doesn't push me into anything. She doesn't make me feel like I have to do something. She specifically puts it down to, you know, she's relaxed. She's extremely relaxed. She's relaxed. She's easygoing. She's a wonderful person. And I love the fact that she has a relaxed nature. That's what I love about her. At the same time, I know she's not, you know, she's not perfect, but she's still my woman, and that's the reason I love her, you know. I love her because even if she's not perfect, she still does what she does. She always has a smile on her face. She always has a good sense of humour. And she can always, she can be a bit crazy and quirky like I am. We have certain personality traits between us. We do silly shit to each other in different situations. She's relaxed. She's much more relaxed than my last girlfriend. My last girlfriend couldn't. She couldn't take it easy. She couldn't find a middle ground. You know, she couldn't. Basically, she couldn't find a middle ground. If she could find a middle ground, that'd be fine. But she just couldn't find a middle ground. She doesn't criticize me because I have a couple of drinks. She doesn't criticize me because I do something a particular way. And all I ever felt from my last girlfriend was total amount of me being criticised for everything that I do. And I'm sorry, I don't mind constructive criticism. But if you're going to criticise somebody about every single little thing they do, how do you expect to have a decent relationship? You've got to have a little compromise, you've got to have a little give and take, you've got to have a little flexibility, especially in a relationship. You can't just challenge and always, not challenge, but you can't always be the nag. I hate to be an asshole about this, but it's the truth of the situation. There are some women out there who will nag guys to death, and the truth of the situation is that some guys just turn around and go, fuck, I'd rather be dead than listen to this fucking bitch. You know what I mean? And it's not all women. Admittedly, it's not all women who do this. It's not all of them. It's not every single woman. Then you've got the classic feminazis, which are the ones, you know, well, everything that a man does is wrong because he's a male. And I'm not, no joke, this actually pisses me off. I can't understand. I'm a very, very compassionate, understanding, kind-hearted person. But as soon as a male thing comes around, it's like, oh, you're a male because you're a male because you're a male. No, it has nothing to do. Look, feminazism, as you would classify it, I can't understand it, to be honest, because sure, you want to be just as equal as a guy, but at the same time you turn around and say, oh, the guy was supposed to look after this guy, traditionally supposed to look after that. I don't, look, I'm a pretty good guy. I love my woman. I look after her. I help her when I can. I'm very compassionate. I'm very understanding. I try not to get into too many arguments if I can help it. At the same time, I don't have a problem with saying something to my woman if there is a problem. But at the other side of the spectrum as well, there's some women that are just like they purposely have to start an argument for no reason. There's some guys are exactly the same way too. And I'm not saying that it's just women, it's guys as well. There's guys who are the exact same way. But I mean, sometimes it's okay to let things go. Sometimes it's okay to just let things go and let things fly out the window, because there's no point in holding on to stupid little petty grudges. I mean, as a person who's a male, that shows a good maturity level if you're a male who's able to sort of put things away to a certain extent. You don't hold on to every little thing. I mean, there's nothing wrong with being picky about things you maybe want in your life, or specifically stuff you want and things like that, but same side of the spectrum. If you're not perfect yourself, I don't think you should deem it on your partner to be perfect either. I don't think you should deem it on your partner to have to change themselves or change their self-image to accommodate to you to a specific reason. Now, I'm a very kind-hearted person by nature, naturally anyway, but I'm not going to ask a woman to change her habits or what she does. Erin does smoke. That doesn't bother me. I actually don't have a problem with that. And I actually, cigarettes don't bother me because I've been around them so much in my life, I really don't care about them. But the thing that I found annoying with my last girlfriend, she could find anything to criticise. It wouldn't matter what it was, whether it's you have this habit, you have that habit, you have a caffeine habit. For fuck's sake, seriously, like, the little argumentative, petty shit that just nobody would hold on to for the hell of it, she had to hold on to. And I'm just sitting there and I'm going, alright, okay, well, I'm sorry, that doesn't even make sense. Half of this shit is just you either being really selfish about what you want in a relationship and not... I mean, there's got to be a little give and take in a relationship. You've got to be able to say, yeah, I want this, but at the same time, I'm willing to work with my partner and compromise on things. I'm a guy, I compromise. I compromise on certain things in my life. I don't compromise on everything, and I'm not a stubborn bastard. Look, I have nothing against people being stubborn, but sometimes being stubborn can be the undoing, or be your undoing in general. If you're stubborn about things, people will never approach you about anything. They will always hide behind something, or not hide behind, but they'll try to sugarcoat it for you, so it comes off less like, I'm doing a certain thing. Because look, I mean, to be honest, the truth of the situation is, sometimes there are certain people, if they hear something, they'll either get really pettily jealous about something to a ridiculous degree that they're totally unreasonable and probably and could be possibly unethical too. That you'll think, okay, hold on a second, what the hell's wrong with this person? They need to relax, take a chill pill, have a beer, smoke some weed, eat a context. That's my point. That's the relative point I'm trying to make, okay? In my mind, if you can relax, But I will say that my experience with Erin has been wonderful because of how much she loves me, how relaxed she is, how much she's willing to throw things from either side to side. She's willing to compromise with some things, I'm willing to compromise with some things. At the same time, we're willing to talk to each other and lay things out on the line too. We're not, we don't try to hide behind things too often. And, I mean, there's always going to be some little, not white lie, but, there's always going to be some little thing that you sugarcoat in your life. I'm not denying that. But, at least if there's a certain degree of things that you don't sugarcoat in your relationship, at least you're being honest with the woman that you love. At the same spectrum of it too, if you have to hide or you have to feel nervous and stressed every time you think of something that you tell your partner, then obviously your relationship isn't at the right level, you know. I mean, we've just spending probably 8 or 9 months now almost together. Probably a little bit more maybe now. And we sleep on Skype, we talk to each other. Well, we spend a lot of time with each other on Skype. We talk on Skype a lot. She's got an Xbox now. We play Xbox games together. I play a bit of Black Ops, play a bit of GTA 5, which she's been having fun with that. She's been having fun with a lot of stuff, and on top of that, I always manage to make her laugh, which I am completely happy with. At the same time, we have our bad moments where I might get into an argument or I get pissed off, or, you know, look, it happens. It's going to happen. But at the same time, it's holding strong in a relationship and getting through those times where you might have a bit of an argument or a disagreement or a bit of a fight, and not letting it push your relationship away or cause your relationship to fluctuate or burn out. You know what I mean? The thing she's mentioned to me is she doesn't mind me drinking beer. What she doesn't like is when I drink whiskey, because I can be a little bit devilish. I'm not denying that. I can probably be pretty devilish when I drink whiskey. So, I'm saying I stay away from the whiskey. I honour that because I guess, you know, it's a feeling I get too with the whiskey. Sometimes I can be a bit of an arse. I can be a bit disrespectful and arrogant, and a little bit arrogant, little bit disrespectful, and sometimes I can just be plain overly flirtatious on Scotch. Well, beer's not so bad. I look at the aspect that at least she knows all sides of me. She knows that I have those sides. She's not on the delusion that I'm this happy-go-lucky, always good guy. Like, I can have the moments where I'm an asshole, and I'm not denying that, but there's moments where I can be an absolute dick about things. And you know what? I think there's nothing wrong with that. Sometimes people have to be an asshole. It's just a typical male thing. Occasionally, guys are assholes. They're dicks. We do stupid shit. We make stupid decisions. We flirt inappropriately when we shouldn't. We flirt inappropriately when we shouldn't. You know, at the end of it, though, I mean, I look at the perspective that, you know, as long as you come back to your woman, as long as you love your woman, that's the main thing. You know? I'm open-minded too, and as much, you know, she's open-minded. We have a very open relationship in the sense of how we deal with each other, and, you know, how we deal with things in life. On top of that, she knows that I have moments where I get emotional, and she knows that I have moments where I'm going to feel down about myself, or really negative, or depressed, or I'm just going to make myself. I'm going to paint myself as a negative person because I have those moments. I'm not denying that. I do that sometimes. I actually paint myself as a negative person, and I try to paint myself negatively. It's never good for you, anybody, to do that. I think everybody's entitled to a few mistakes, and everybody's entitled to fuck things up. I think everybody's entitled to that. At the same time, there are some severe fuck levels that I would not go to. Like, there's certain risks that I wouldn't take, and there's certain risks that I would take. It depends on the circumstance. And I guess at the end of it, I try to be the best possible person I can most of the time. But there are moments where I'm just purely going to be guided by emotional rage, or emotional anger, or irrational emotional anger and irrational thought. You know what I mean? It's not all the time, but I do have that ability to feel those emotions. You know what I mean? And I wouldn't be human if I denied those emotions. I wouldn't be me if I didn't deny it. If I didn't, you know. Alright. My nose is there. No, my point is, I wouldn't be human if I didn't admit that I had those emotions, and I wouldn't be human if I didn't admit that I had some whether it be a rageful or angry emotion towards the situation, or whether it be the fact that I'm uncomfortable or stressed about something. Or, you know, sorry, I had to restart the camera. But yeah, no, like in the sense, you know, in those sense of emotions, I wouldn't be human if I didn't admit when I had those thoughts and problems and issues. But at least at the end of it, I'm actually willing to be honest. And I'm willing to lay those things on the line for someone that I love. Not hide behind the view that people are having a particular instance on me or whatever, you know. Look, I'm a good guy most of the time, and about probably 70 to 80% of the time I'll do the right thing. 70 to 80. But there are those moments where I will do the wrong thing, or I'll do something that maybe I'll regret later, possibly. I'm not denying that. It's probably just because a little bit, maybe a tiny bit of emotional immaturity, but I mean, I think every male inherently is a little immature. But I would say 70 to 80% of the time I do the right thing. So that's a pretty good margin. That's a pretty good standard of what a person should be. You know what I mean? So that's the reason I judge myself not to be bad. That's the reason I judge myself to be good. That's the reason that I judge myself to be pure-hearted with most things that I intend. Most things. There are a couple of things. I mean, look, sometimes, maybe we all have our own ulterior motives at some point in our life, and I'm not denying that, maybe. And maybe we do. Maybe it's a personal gain thing. Maybe it's a financial gain thing. But we do have these things, and at the end of it, I don't think there's anything wrong with looking out for yourself either, and looking out for the ones you love, your family, your close friends maybe. But I would mostly say family and the one you love. If you look out for those two types of things in your life, you know, that in itself, that shows good. Now, at the other side of the spectrum, I'm not going to deny that there are some people out there who have a bad family life, who have a really negative experience with people who are meant to be their family. Like, I'm talking in the sense of negative, they rip them off, they do this. You know, they pretty much leave their family, whether one of their family members be a sociopath or something like that, you know. My point is that yes, there are those situations that happen, and I feel for those people. But I've always never really had a big issue with my family. They've never really given me a lot of grief. They give me little issues, little tiny things, but you know, it's like any family, we all I think we all disagree. I think all families disagree at some point. And I think it's just normal. It's something that happens, you know what I mean? But at the end of it, it's bouncing back from that makes you family, that makes you, it makes you family, and it makes you better as a family and stronger as a family. Or whether it be a couple for that matter, you know, loved ones or the one you love. At the end of it, I think I love my family to pieces. I honour my family. As well as honouring my family, I will defend my family to my death. You know what I mean? Because of how much I love them. And I would never want to see my family hurt. I would never want to see my family or my loved ones hurt. In the sense that, you know, I wouldn't want to see them go through a lot of pain, you know. At the end of it, I don't know. It's sort of weird. I would not have a problem putting somebody else through pain who put my family or my friends or certain people I know through pain. I wouldn't have a problem putting them through pain. But when it comes to the ones that I love and the ones closest to me, I definitely would have an issue with seeing them. Now, my mum had cancer. I don't know that many people know, but she died of cancer 6 years ago, 7 years ago now. 6 or 7 years ago now. And to watch her go through every day of the treatments she was going through. I mean, she wouldn't admit it. Mum was a pretty brave-faced individual, but a lot of things took an emotional toll on her. She had psychological conditions like me, and the thing about it is it does take a toll on you when you go that type of stuff. It does, it really does. At the end of it, she went through a lot of pain. She went through a sense of suffering, you know, emotional trauma in the sense, you know, that she'd had a lot of crap happen to her in her life, whether it was a combination of abuse that she had when she was younger, combined back to not just abuse when she was younger, but combined back to the fact that she could always have a smile on her face. I could always make her smile. I was always the type of, I was always the person who would cheer my mum, make her feel better about things, make her laugh. When she was going through the treatments, and I was always the one closest to her. I mean, my sister, she had other commitments, her family and everything else, so I can understand that. But I was always closest to my mum over that 6 year period. Well, not 6 year period, but she's been dead for 6 years, so it was like 3 years. So it was 3 years worth of treatment. She survived 3 years. She was given 3 months. She survived 3 years, and at the same time, I still hold a bit of a grudge because a lot of the stuff that I'm looking into, the new treatments and stuff these days, there's a lot better natural treatments and other treatments that are better for cancer these days, which I've had a look through, and to be honest, it does piss me off that we haven't considered some of those from the, you know, the sense of chemotherapy and things like that. I don't know, I just don't feel like chemotherapy is a viable option for cancer. Mainly because of what it does to the body, mainly because of what it does to yourself. I feel there's a lot more natural remedies out there that we haven't explored, and a lot more things that we haven't explored that are, you know, that will fix these issues for us more often than not. That's the thing that pissed me off, I think, is that I felt like we could have explored that stuff a bit more. But look, you could say I was also cranky with the people, my grandfather, for the abuse that he placed on my mum. When she was younger, a lot of that stuff was very taxing on my mum's mind, and it really broke her mentally, and it did a lot of damage to her. I know how much damage it did to her, and to this day, it still makes me angry to some extent. It still makes me want to do things to people like that, you know? Yeah. I gripe myself a little bit about things, you know, emotions. But, look, at the end of it, I loved my mum. I was very, very, very close to her. And I had a lot of connection with her in the sense of things that, you know, we connected extremely well, but not just connected. We were extremely close to her. I mean, it's not as if I wasn't actually close to my dad or anything like that, but my dad was, I was a bit further away from him just because I was a bit more of a, you know, my mum would tend to be, she would tend to defend me in a given situation, you know, and I guess it's not a bad thing at the end that she did pass, I mean, yes, it's bad that it happened, but I mean, it took the suffering away from her. I'm not denying that. It wasn't a bad thing, I guess, in the sense that she passed, because it taught me to grow up a little more, to seek responsibility for certain things, and to take responsibility and grow up a little more in that sense. At the end, that's what I was proud of, the fact that it made me grow up a little more, it made me assess things better. At the same time, so, as I said, it made me assess things a little better, but at the same time, it made me assess things a little better. Gave me a bit more of a maturity level that I wanted. Showed me the way to getting things that I needed to, and, would have and things in the future, And yeah, I've learned a lot of lessons over the years. And maybe just right. Yes. Joy down in my heart. Frustrates me. What about a towel? No. That figures. Oh, Jesus. Okay. If in doubt, use some tissues. Out, use some tissues. Okay, the point that I was trying to make before I was really interrupted by my spurting beer was that, yes, it made me more mature. But it also made me realise that not every single woman out there in the world was as good as my mum is. Erin, she's just as good as my mum. But it made me realise that not every woman is like my mum. Not every woman has the kind-heartedness that my mum had. There are some women who are literally cruel. Erin is the most kind-hearted woman I've ever met in my life. That's the reason I love her so much. That's the reason. That's the reason she makes me feel so complete. She's like the opposite side of the coin for me. She has a lot of personality traits. She's not exactly the same as me, but we match very well with each other. And we don't try to belittle or entangle each other and stress each other out. It's not what our relationship's about. It's about showing each other love, at the same time showing each other love. It's about being able to relax, have a couple of drinks or whatever, and just chill, play a couple of games. The reason that I love her so much is because she's got a very remarkable way of looking at things. On top of that, she's got a very remarkable mindset towards other people in her life. I've altered some things in the sense of what she thinks. Well, she was very kind-hearted, and she would get taken advantage of a lot in certain situations. I've given her a little more point to be a bit more assertive with some people these days, compared to what she was before. She wasn't as assertive. She was assertive, but it would take a lot for her to be really assertive with people. But I'd sort of, I pointed out that, maybe it's a good idea if she is more assertive in certain situations. And, aside from that, I love her kind-hearted nature. That's what I fell in love with. That's the thing that made me love her. The fact that she's so kind, she's so loving. and she's a wonderful person. That's what made me, I guess you could say, see her true inner soul. You know? I saw underneath everything, you know, and I saw everything inside of her, and it just, you know, it made me appreciate things, you know. I know she's, you know, she, out of the kindness of her own heart, a lot of things she does out of the kindness of her own heart. She really is a special person. Anyway, I think I'll leave it there, but as it was, anyway, I think I'll leave it there for the moment, but I'll just finish off with saying that, yes, Erin is, you know, she's a prime example of a good woman. The prime example of a bad woman, and I mean most people will admit this, is somebody who constantly nags at you for no reason. I mean, look, I mean, Erin, she doesn't nag, she just makes suggestive points of view, and she normally says she's going to kick my ass. I actually love a woman who's going to say she's going to kick my ass. Because that doesn't really bother me. I like a bit of spice in my women, but, you know. At the same time, the spectrum, I don't want some nagging bitch. Like, really nasty nagging bitch who just, you know, she can't... just to niggle with every fucking tiny little thing that you do or you don't do. And I'm sorry, that drives us, particularly males, it drives males nuts. That shit is absolutely annoying as fuck. It's not just annoying, but it, oh my god. Do you know how many guys die prematurely with those type of women? It's just like, you know, those are the type of women you want to get a gun and go bang. You know what I mean? I'm just saying. And that's the truth. I'm sorry, I hate to say it, but that's the truth of the situation, and be it for the fact that somebody doesn't like me because I said that, or whether it be the fact that somebody doesn't like me because of feminazis, fuck, I really don't give a shit. That's beside the point. I'm just laying it on the line, people. I'm telling you the honest truth. That sometimes, I mean, and there are guys that do the exact same way with some women too. That's just, yeah. At the end of it, no. There's just, you know, sometimes it is okay to let things go, and sometimes it is okay to walk away from some things. Not all the time. Like, it depends on what it is. If it's something really justifiable and you feel the justification to actually go and fix it, do it. But there's just some things you need to walk away from and just go, fuck it. You know what I mean? Just fuck it. Who cares? You know what I mean? Anyway, I'm going to leave it there. Thank you very much. Stay tuned, YouTube. I've got more coming up, obviously. That will include, or not limited to, what am I going to have? I'm going to have, well, obviously some, I'm not playing some videos right now, but this video, I don't know what I'm going to be doing after this video, to be honest. I have no idea, actually. I haven't placed out where I'm going to go. I'm thinking that I might do some more 4K video stuff and things like that. Maybe some different games. But at the same time, I may have already done that by the time this video gets uploaded anyway. So I haven't quite got, well, yeah, by the time I get this off the video, the camera and everything else, put it on. Anyway, like, subscribe, follow me on Twitter, follow me on Google+, follow me on Facebook. And as always, stay tuned. I've got interesting stuff coming up at different moments. So, yeah, stay tuned. Simple as that. Just stay tuned. There's more to come, and there's more crazy shit probably at some point. We'll probably have some interesting GTA shit. Definitely got some Xbox shit coming up. With my girlfriend and mostly likely a few other people. Yes, don't know exactly when it's going to happen, but it depends on when I'm really drunk one night. I just feel like recording shit and seeing what random funny shit comes out of it. Anyway, I'm going to say thank you very much. Stay tuned, YouTube. As always, signing off. The moustache. My moustache has powers. I don't know. What the fuck? I don't know. It's all good. Thank you. Bye.